Yo, 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 yo. All right, make sure everything's working. Well, a big night tonight. At least we know that we're not the only team that fucking sucks right now. So that's always a great thing, right? It's always a fantastic thing to know. Yeah, today, yeah. I mean, you know what? It's just crazy. It's just absolutely insane how the Philadelphia Eagles handed the Dallas Cowboys the second seed. I mean, we handed Dallas that second seed. We handed them a home game, and they still fuck it up. Still. Man, Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, man, that's amazing. Jordan Love's never been in a playoff game. Didn't look rattled, didn't look shook at all. I mean, they went into Dallas and they just took care of business. That's why you cannot, when you go into the playoffs, the regular season does not matter at that point at all. This teams start to change what they do when it's coaching or something like that. So but I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. The MJ, Chris Kaufman, what's going on? We got Beast Guard, Logan, what's going on? Jose Serrano, Logan Sports, Lou Branch, what's going on, man? C23. Yeah, so the Rams won. The Rams lost. DB says, right here, Parker, I called the kid. I'll be back when the Eagles get beat also. Here's the difference. The difference is the Cowboys were a much better team. Because the Cowboy fans had Dak Prescott as the MVP. They are the high-quality team. The unstoppable team. It won't shock me if the Eagles lose Monday night. I've talked about this a million times. Do I want them to win? Sure. Am I going to be mad if they lose? Sure. But am I going to be like that upset? I don't know. Because the last 6 weeks have been a complete disaster. At least for me as a content creator, I've been pretty damn realistic with this team so far the last 6 weeks. A lot of Eagle fans have called me out. A lot of people say I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not ride or die with this team. But I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I'm not going to say that this team is, the Eagles are perfect, because they're not. And I'm actually still surprised that we have a playoff game at this point, the way the Eagles have played the last 6 weeks. So, it's just crazy, man. So, yeah. Mr. Roop with the super chat, thank you so much, man. He says, Rams got hosed. I'll be scared to go against the Lions. They definitely have the NFL's backing. Yeah, it's crazy. I know a lot of bad calls in that game. Puka Nacua was playing so well. Apparently some PI calls were missed. I mean, it's they got to keep the games interesting. The NFL is a fucking business, guys. Like, that's what happens. That's what happens. See, when there's a game like the Packers and Cowboys, where the Packers are literally destroying the other team, okay, that's what happens. The ratings start to go down. So obviously the 2 drives the Cowboys had were really helped by penalties at that point, with a really bad horse collar call that wasn't even a horse collar that got them on the other side of the field. I mean, they had no run game. CeeDee Lamb was nowhere to be found until the end of the fourth quarter. I mean, really, CeeDee Lamb's big reception over 20 yards, 20 to 25 yards, that was even over that, was not till the end of the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like, team is trash, dude. But the Cowboys didn't really... I don't know what the defense was doing. I don't know what Dallas defense was doing. They played a lot of zone. I don't know why they were playing so off coverage. It looked like the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what they looked like. Kate with the super chat said, what up, Joey? We have to show up. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And we might not. But it's hard for me to say the Eagles are going to show up in a game like this. It's really tough for me to say. I don't know. Like, the talking all week, every single week has been the exact same thing. Okay, I don't know what team we're going to get on Monday night. I really don't. But I mean, seriously, dude, the Eagles choked away the first seed. The Eagles choked away the second seed. The Eagles choked away the division. All the Dallas Cowboys got was a nice T-shirt and a hat that says NFC East champions on it. Other than that, that's all they have gotten this year. And it really shows. And like I'm saying, like, they don't, Dak Prescott's due for an extension next year. Mike McCarthy on the hot seat. Let's see if they make Dak the scapegoat once again. I hope he signs a big contract. I don't see why not. Because Dak Prescott is the last ranked quarterback. The last ranked quarterback. When trailing in games, he is the biggest choker. And I think with the Dallas Cowboys, they are the biggest chokers in the playoffs. The biggest. You had a home game. You literally, I mean, to be honest with you, the no points in the first quarter. Dallas scoreless in the first quarter. I mean, this is the first game this year where Dallas was destroyed at home. So, it is what it is. It doesn't, look, at the end of the day, it does not hurt my feelings. Like, regardless, like, the Dallas Cowboys were a better team. Just tell me, were the Dallas Cowboys a better team going to the playoffs? Apparently. And they didn't show up. Big Way says, you really think they can't beat the Bucs? I mean, geez, yeah, they definitely did play bad, but it's not as I cannot see them beat it. No, it's not even that they can't beat the Bucs. I'm not even looking at the Buccaneers. I'm not looking at the Buccaneers. I'm looking at us. I don't know if we can get out of our own way. That's the big problem I am having rolling into this playoff game. Sometimes I sit there and I say to myself, I can't believe we still have a playoff game. I feel like the only reason why things haven't went off the rails with the Eagles and the players and it hasn't gotten too crazy is because they still had this playoff game. If the season ended, I feel like a lot of bad things would have happened by now. I don't know. Because it seems like I need to see what the Eagles do when they face adversity. The one problem I'm really looking at, or what I'm going to be looking at, say if Tampa Bay wins the coin toss, they go on offense, they go down the field and score on us. How are the Eagles going to answer the call? Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like every time the last 6 weeks where, the other team scores, the Eagles just get in their own way, the players go through the motions, I feel like they just have no sense of urgency. That's just what it is right now. It's just what it is. And it's a little, it's worrisome. Philly D says, you can always trigger Dallas fans when they talk about success multiple decades ago. Aaron says, Cowboy fans have scattered like roaches when the lights get turned on down here in Texas. Oh, boy. So Lena says, we have no confidence in this team based off of the last 6 weeks. That's what I've been saying. I can't go into this playoff game and say that this is a win. Yes, I feel like we have the better roster. Yes, I feel like even without A.J. Brown, I still feel like they can win this game. But the defense is a fucking mess right now. We can't get to the quarterback. We're in desperation mode moving Avonte Maddox to safety because we have no safeties. Sidney Brown is out the rest of the year. Justin Evans is out the rest of the year. Reed Blankenship is questionable. He probably won't even play at this point. So, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of nuts. Big D says that's what they do. They're living in the past. They aren't even live to see. Wake me up when tomorrow ends. Parker says Eagles beat Tampa Bay 25-11 at Tampa in week 2. Delia says I have hope. Hope doesn't get crushed in the first drive. Elaine says, "Hoo, Dallas is gone. No big surprise, right?" I was actually I had the Cowboys winning this game against the Packers. I had them winning. I mean, they looked like a totally different team today. The defense didn't show up, and obviously Michael Gallup was like the best receiver today. I mean, pretty much Michael Gallup has been gone from that offense. I mean, really, he came off an ACL. He got paid all that money for what reason, I don't know. And for me, I don't know. They never used Turpin or anything on the offense. They weren't creative. They just weren't good. And when Dak trails in games, that's what he looks like. Potentially, he could have had like 4 fucking picks in this game, literally. But I had a pick 6 and another pick. And then really that one drive that they had with the horse collar, which was not even a fucking horse collar at all, because the guy grabbed his shoulder pad, not the back of his fucking collar. Okay, helped them get to the other side of the field. They didn't even work for half of that shit they fucking did. So they really, as much as they can come in the chat and say shit, there's really not much for them to say. All they're going to say is they have fucking the Super Bowls they have, and the Eagles have won, and it's the same bullshit every single time. But at the end of the day, like, they thought they were the best team, and they fucking choked so bad that they are literally grabbing straws right now. Grabbing straws to defend what they fucking did tonight. And they can't defend themselves anymore at all. Chris Kaufman, remember for 4 months, thank you so much, man. He says Dak 2-5 in the playoffs, 8 years in. He's going to be the scapegoat once again. The blame is going to be put on Mike McCarthy. They'll fire him. They'll bring in Belichick, and he is not going to do anything for that team. He's not going to rally that team the way he talked about the fucking Louis Vuitton bag and, oh, it says LV and that's where I'm going to be or some shit like that. It's just like the regular season champs. Like, that's it. But this is what happens when they get to the playoffs. Like, this is what happens. So Lisa's question, if Eagles win, they have to go on the road to Detroit. I know if the Rams win, they would have had a home game. They would have had a home game against the Rams, but I'm not sure. I think so. James, Swift has over 1,000 yards. Do they run the ball? Shut up. I'm hoping he does. It's obviously insane that, like, the second to last game of the season, because Swift didn't even play the last game. Okay, Swift. It's literally criminal that DeAndre Swift has just over 1,000 yards. It's honestly criminal. That guy should be the second best back in the league with like over 1,300 yards or 1,400. I'm not even kidding. Like, Swift just having just over 1,000, what was it, 1,038, 1,046, whatever it is. Okay, that's ridiculous. And they rested him the last week. He better have 20 to 28 carries. I'm not even kidding. And I'm not putting everything on Quez Watkins either, because the one thing I'm seeing at this point is they're going to force feed Quez Watkins a lot. And I have no trust in Quez. I mean, he's been an absolute disappointment this year, and that's what's been really bad. So, Kay with the Super Chat says, I really hope they get Dallas more involved. Effing Cowboys, man. Love to see it. I was not expecting the Dallas Cowboys to get that destroyed today, but damn, I mean, that's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. They have nothing to say. I mean, they have nothing to say. All they can say is, "Oh, we'll be laughing at you when you lose tomorrow." But here's the thing: like, the last 6 weeks, it's not going to hurt my feelings because I have been literally shitting on this team the last 6 weeks, and not shitting. If I'm not. Look, at the end of the day, like, if I'm not shitting on this team, then it means I don't care. But if I am shitting on this team, it means that I know they can play better. I'm not just going to be like, yay, team, let's try to get together for another week. And I'm not kissing their ass. So, you know? Chris, it's the 76ers of the NFL or the Cow. That's true. That's true. Oh, except they didn't get kicked out of the second round. They got kicked out of the first round. So, Bleed Great says, I don't know about y'all, but I feel great about playing either of these defenses. I get it. I get it. Bigwig says, I am worried. I am so worried about the Cowboy fans. They're not picking up their phones. Demo High says, Dak one and done Prescott. Benny Boom says, is Quez I do not trust. I don't know what they're going to do. My take is they have to just run. I mean, at the end of the day, like, Baker Mayfield's dealing with a rib injury, and he's dealing with an ankle. Jalen Hurts is dealing with the dislocated middle finger that he's probably just in a lot of pain this week. So if you don't have A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith is definitely not 100% healthy, let's be real here. Okay, so it's going to take this whole entire team. So with Quez on the outside, Devontae Smith on the outside, and hopefully you're going to have some Zacchaeus, Julio Jones I would probably trust more, to be honest with you. And I like Zacchaeus a lot, just not too much opportunity. And Dallas Goedert to be heavily involved. Okay. Got to get this pass game going. Got to get this run game going badly. The Eagles need it. So if you have A.J. Brown out and Devontae Smith is 100% healthy, it should give you just more. Just to keep Jalen Hurts healthy, they have got to run the fucking ball. Got to run the ball more. K with the super chat says, can't get any worse, to be honest. Agent Zero time. That's what I'm saying. I mean, at this point, it's like, dude, if you're not going to resign, trust me, my top sign, besides Devontae Smith picking up his option, okay, my top signing going to next year, which the Eagles never do when it comes to running backs, is resign DeAndre Swift, because I think the Eagles need to go in the late rounds and get a nice rotational guy for this offense, because I don't want to bring Boston Scott back. I'm kind of done at this point and want to, depending what the Eagles do, depending if they win this game tomorrow, depending what happens with this coaching staff, all the rumors with Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick, and, is this Nick's last stand? Obviously Josina Anderson said the Eagles are going to be making heavy changes on the defensive side of the ball. And it comes down to Howie Roseman and his philosophy. Who's doing the pushback right now? Is it Nick Sirianni pushbacking Howie and going against the wishes of what the front office wants? I mean, we don't really know what's going on. And I think a lot of the players has given up at this point, but because of this playoff game, like, everybody's really trying to hold on, but it's just, I don't know. It's not really working. This is a one game at a time, run the ball. Parker the Fly says, in Quez I do not trust. Terrell Morris says, Cowboys one and done. They stacked every year just to fall short. I'm telling you. That quarterback is their downfall. That quarterback is not going to rally that team to a win. It's just it's not in his DNA to do that. What's in his DNA is when he's trailing in playoff games and Dak tries to do too much, and Dak picks Scott at the end of the day. Shalon Sharp says, you think Julio will have a big game with AJ out? I don't know. I mean, I feel like Julio could do a lot more. Even the Giants game or whatever, the Cardinals game, whatever it was, when he had the 2 touchdowns. I thought that was fantastic. I feel like Julio has a good amount left in the tank. I wouldn't say too much, but I feel like he just could do enough as a number 3. I think he's perfectly fine, but there's got to be the play calling and like the play design is just too predictable, and it's too basic, and it's not enough creativity. You really don't do much. You don't pass the ball quick at the line. Jalen Hurts is not. He's just not patient enough in the pocket, and when he senses a little bit of pressure, he rolls out to the right. And nine times out of 10, because these route combinations are taking so long to develop, you're not going to get the best out of your quarterback, and that's one of the biggest problems that you're having. You know what I mean? Pudjeb says, Lions acting like they won the NFC or Super Bowl. Well, it's an exciting time for them. I mean, to win a playoff game. I mean, they haven't been to the NFC Championship since, I don't even know, like 91 maybe. I mean, it's been a long time. Scott says, bench trash Barry. Darnell says, Tampa is expecting heavy rain. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to rain Sunday. I think from what we heard from last week, it was still going to rain. So Maybe so there's something. There's some good running backs coming in the draft this year. Hopefully, we can get some in the third round. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to talk about any draft stuff. I understand that statement, but I'm not going to talk about any draft stuff until we lose. That's really it. Because I feel like I don't know what's going to happen if the Eagles win this game. We'll see what happens. Then you're going to be so now you don't even have. Now you don't even have a home game, so you're gonna have to play on the road the rest of the playoffs. The Eagles are gonna have to fight for it, a lot. I honestly, they don't deserve a home game. They really don't. Why? Why should they play at home? They should have the hardest. To be honest with you, maybe starting out with Tampa and then going into a better team. And then obviously when you face, the 49ers, and look, the Eagles got to get by tomorrow regardless. I don't want to speak too ahead of myself, but they got to take care of business, and they haven't proved that they can stay consistent. This coaching staff it's really showed me, especially after the season was not over, but at least the regular season was over, that Brian Johnson looks like he's going to be the scapegoat here. It looks like Brian Johnson is going to be the scapegoat, unfortunately. We got Kadeem Hackett, a new member to the Camper tier, man. Thank you for joining and supporting. I appreciate it so much. Much love, so much. 461 in the chat. Make sure you like up this stream as much as possible. And if you are new, subscribe to the channel because we cover the Eagles every single day of the year. And we'll be doing the live play-by-play reaction tomorrow night of the Eagles and Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So definitely check all that great stuff out. The Williams is good. Eagles fan 220 says, let the Lions fans enjoy it. We would be pumped in that situation, like winning our first Super Bowl. Yeah, man, that's how we were. We can't put it past them and why they're so excited. We were excited just, being the first seed and being underdogs for the first seed, which is kind of crazy. Lethon says, I see us trying to go deep to Quez a lot in this game. Hopefully they connect on a couple. Yeah, and that's the issue I have, because even they did that during the Giants game. They threw some deep shots to Quez Watkins early in the game, and he wasn't even close. You know what I mean? So, Quez Watkins, I really have no faith. I think he's walking after this year. I don't think the Eagles bring him back. It's really not that hard to find a number 3, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in the building. With Devontae Smith, hopefully the Eagles are picking up his fifth-year option. I don't think an extension is going to happen yet. I think they pick up that fifth-year option. This way they have time to get that extension rolling away. Because for a damn fact Devontae Smith is staying in Philadelphia. It's happening, dude. It's happening. Chris says, unless the Packers beat the Niners, then we can host a playoff game. Yeah. That's not going to happen, though. I don't feel like that's going to happen. So it depends how we win. If we could say we have a chance. Well, to be honest with you, of course I'm going to nitpick on how the Eagles win or lose the game against Tampa Bay. But at the end of the day, to win a playoff game, it doesn't matter if you win by a point or 2 points. Yes, it does matter because you don't want to look horrible. Maybe both teams play really horrible. Maybe your defense can't hold up. Maybe the offense, all the pressure's on them. But I'm going to nitpick at the same time, but I'm not going to go crazy. You know what I mean? But it says, if Packers win, we have a home game. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Jack says, with the rain, the Eagles should run more, give Hurts and Brown more time to rest a little for the divisional round. Yeah, well, I get it. It gives you more. It literally gives you that much more to go run the football, man. Run the ball. I've been waiting for if they don't run if DeAndre Swift has 5 carries in the first half, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm literally going to lose my shit. Dolo says, at 27-0, I couldn't help but laugh my ass off hearing how they were going to Dallas was going to blow out Green Bay. I know. Big Wigs Cowboy fans are watching but not commenting or liking. No, they're pretty much done. Tommy Voss, if we make a strong playoff run, is it the players bailing out the scheme or something else? I think it's part of the coaching and when you don't change things. And I strongly believe that a lot of players went up to the coaching staff to change some things. And I feel like that was the main reason why A.J. Brown did talk to the media for 2 weeks. I feel like AJ didn't talk to the media for 2 weeks because I feel like they did try to go to the coaching staff about some things. They kind of just ignored them at some point, and AJ Brown was like, you know what? Screw it. Fuck it at this point. Why even try? And I think since he didn't talk to the media for 2 weeks, I think what happened was the coaching staff kind of not forced him to kind of open up to the media, but I think he had to, because he was, look, I don't disagree with AJ Brown and what he's been doing at all. I don't disagree with anything he's been doing. If he says something, they twist his words. If he doesn't say anything for 2 weeks, yeah, it's more pressure. It's going to put more pressure on the coaches for answers. It's going to put more pressure on his teammates for answers. And, I completely understand that to a certain degree. So I won't make a big deal about it. But, this is just what happens sometimes. But I don't put anything past them. I never seen a collapse like this, so I need to see a change. Yeah, I get it. I can't go into tomorrow saying we're going to win this game. Like it's cool that we're celebrating the Cowboys lose, and it's great because the Cowboys. It's great because the Eagles gifted them this home game pretty much, and they literally fucking shit themselves. Literally shit themselves, and they couldn't get out of it. JL says Lions better matchup than 49ers. Thank you, Cowboys. Well, yeah, I mean, sure. I don't think the Rams. If we had the Rams at home, it's still not an easy game. But I can't think about the other team until I really think about ourselves to really get out of this fucking hole that we're in right now. I don't get why you don't watch film from last year from Shane Steichen or try to incorporate. Like, Colin Cowherd said something really important, and Colin Cowherd has had some really good takes on the Eagles this year. His most recent one is this. You can't have a head coach that's just you can't have a head coach that is just a player's coach. You can't. He's got to be more involved than just being a player's coach. And I think the case with Nick Sirianni is that, when you lose coordinators, you shouldn't be taking a step backwards. And the Eagles have literally taken 10 steps backwards. They have had a promising half year to late year. And then the last 6 games have been literally them trying to get out of a hole and Sirianni trying to have excuses every single fucking week of the season. And things are not changing. So why isn't Howie Roseman making changes? Why isn't there any type of pushback from Howie? Or is Nick Sirianni pushing back at Howie? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. How are things staying the same? Jeffrey Lurie has been at Eagles practice all week. There was a report that came out a couple days ago that Jeffrey Lurie is getting his hands more on for the football operations for the Philadelphia Eagles. And what does that even mean? Does it mean that he's getting more involved to see what the real problem is? And we're going to find out. We're going to find out literally tomorrow night, what's going on with this team and why is everyone falling off and what happened between the Bills game to the 49ers game? Why didn't the Eagles have so much fight going into that 49ers game when that team and their players have been talking shit about you for literally since last year, and you let them run through your fucking pregame practice and let them bully Bradbury around? No one pushed anybody. Nobody. Even the last game against the Giants. Remember when that linebacker, we were doing the brotherly shove, and that linebacker jumped over the pile and hit Jalen Hurts with his helmet? And nobody did anything. Everybody sat there. Nobody defended Hurts. Nobody did a damn thing. That's what bothers me. There's something internally wrong. The culture, the nucleus of your roster, something is wrong with the culture right now. And as soon as that gets a little bit damaged, it's not a good sign. It's a really bad sign, But I think AJ was actually not pissed at the coach, that he was mad with Jalen and he didn't go to the media to protect his boy. I don't know. He's not the only one. Even if A.J. Brown's mad at Jalen Hurts, I don't think he should be the only one he's mad at. I get it, but. Tommy said, the Eagles take care of business tomorrow. It will be a revenge game for Swift versus Lyon. Oh, you know what? I wasn't even fucking thinking about that shit. Dude, what a setup that would be. What a fucking setup that would be. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson playing against the Eagles since being with the team last year. Dude, just imagine. Tommy, I wasn't even thinking about that. DeAndre Swift revenge game? Dude, imagine that, dude. Phillies to the crap the delusional Dallas fans thought since they won the division they had playing in all cylinders. Fact, they were not playing good. Yeah. Philly D says Frank Reich is what we need, especially for Jalen. You know what? They need Jalen, and Jalen had a regressing year this year. I get it. Okay, this isn't what he's going to be the rest of his career. That this is just a shitty year for a lot of things around him and for himself. But Jalen Hurts needs a head coach that's going to fucking push him. I mean, push him. It has to be more of a business standpoint than more of a friendly standpoint. And I think that's one of the most important things. I feel like it's way too fucking friendly. I've thought about that since Nick has been here. It just depends. But, things, I can't compare shit to last year. Like every year's a new year. Things change over time. But I feel like we need more of a hard coach that's more at Jalen. And it's more on a business standpoint than a friendly standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, and I know Nick could be a hard coach, and that's a great thing. All coaches have to be that way. It can't be friendly all the time. Lennon says, do you agree that Shane was really the coach of the Eagles last year? Sirianni was just an overseer of the team? Yes, I do. I honestly do. I feel Shane took over a lot more control over play calling last year. But they did run their offense off analytics. But adjustments were always made last year. 100%. See, Jake from State Farm says, Slay and Matt Patricia also return to Detroit if we beat the Bucs. Yeah, that's another true thing. Yeah. Bill said, they say Dak is better than Hurts. Hurts won one playoff run than Dak ever has. Tommy says, this offseason, Lurie needs to pull Howie aside and give him the ultimatum to either stick to drafting, cap, free agency, etc., and out of the scheme playbook and let coaches coach, or you're gone. This is change. That's what needs to happen. That's the first thing that really needs to happen, because their coaching hiring process is probably one of the worst. Why do you think Brian Johnson has 2 interviews right now? Because everybody around the league knows how the Eagles run shit. Everybody around the league knows how they run things, how the Eagles run things. Oh, this is Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson's the offensive coordinator. Why? Why is he getting all the blame? Why is he getting all the blame? And now he has interviews. He's getting interviews because everybody knows who's running that offense. 100%. Brian Johnson's going to be the fucking scapegoat. It's the exact truth to it all. It's happening. Jack Mullen says, I don't know how the offense has regressed so much. Eagles had, for the most part, the same players. Johnson was next to Shane all year. How could the scheme be so different in a bad way? Because Brian Johnson's not running the offense. Dave Spadaro was running questions past Eagle fans. Dave Spadaro was taking questions from Eagle fans a few weeks ago. Someone asked him who's running the offense, coaching-wise. And he said, Dave Spadaro said, this was Nick's game plan every week. This is around Nick's game plan. This is Nick's defense. This is what Nick wanted to incorporate still. But here's the issue I'm having. The issue is that why aren't the Eagles taking plays from last year or things from last year that have helped Jalen Hurts or to Jalen Hurts' strengths and to the rest of these position groups? Kind of like how when Nick Foles took over for Carson Wentz and they went back and watched film with, Nick Foles with Chip Kelly, they took things that made the players successful. And I don't think they do that now. And I think that's like one of the major issues. They have put the team in a stranglehold right now where there's no creativity, there's no design. It's basic, it's easy to defend. Even commentators, even even rival players or even players from other teams we face talk about us. Brian Baldinger. I mean, everybody talks about us and talks about how predictable the offense is. It's a coaching standpoint, but it's an ownership to GM standpoint because Jeffrey Lurie has got to get his hands on this team. And he's got to get his hands around this fucking issue because how are we going to be excited about anything that happens next year? I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think the drafting has been good the last 3 years. Okay? But they need to change the way they do things drafting wise. They got to put more into linebacker. They can't go on like this anymore. You need a safety. You need a linebacker. I don't even want these starting corners here anymore. I don't even want. Look, if Slay wants to stay another year, it's whatever. But Bradbury, fuck no. Get him out of here. A lot of young talent behind him right now, and you have 2 second-round picks and a first-round pick next year to use on what for compensation that you'll have. JB says, Lurie and Roseman don't like the big-name coaches. They look for the lesser names because they're more likely to be yes-men, so people need to stop asking for Belichick. Yeah, well, the big rumor on Belichick, it was January 8th. The rumor did come out in January. I just made a video on it about Belichick in my last video, so definitely check that out. Not the Cowboys video, the one before that, if you want to check it out. That on January 8th, there was rumors that if Belichick was going to stay in New England or go to another roster or coach another team, it was said that Belichick was going to give up personnel control. So if that's the case, then right up the Eagles' alley. You know, we can put a fucking we could put a GPS on him and control everything he fucking does at this point. And that was the rumor on Belichick, that he'll give up more of his personnel decision-making. And that's right up the Eagles' alley for what they want to do. But they can't go this way anymore. They can't hire an assistant coach off the most random guy. Like Sean Desai, like I knew nothing really about him, you know, under the Vic Fangio tree, and hasn't really been a defensive coordinator since 2021. You know, but wasn't the best defensive coordinator, didn't have a lot of talent on that roster, but apparently he was really creative. So now I'm trying to say to myself, they just grabbed the guy to play Gannon's defense. And then Gannon and the Cardinals face the Eagles, and Gannon is so fucking aggressive. I'm like, wow. So now I'm starting to see last year in 2022, was Gannon around that whole entire game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles defensively? Remember, we were destroying teams in the first half, and then Gannon would take his foot off the gas, let offenses breathe, and give up points after points after points, putting more pressure on the offense. So now, and then I see, you know, I know the Cardinals only have 4 wins this year, but man, like Gannon and that defensive line and like the nonstop pressure he was giving us, where the fuck was that last year? There's something going on. Like there's some control tactic, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. Blee Green says, the biggest lie Nick Sirianni ever told was that last year's offense was his offense. It was Shane Steichen's. Yeah. And he said that, we're running the same offense. We've been running the past 3 years. Remember, he said that shit too, that we've been running the same. No, nothing has changed at all. You're right. Because Nick Sirianni in 2021, as a first-year head coach, he ran the fucking plays for 5-6 weeks. Pass happy, pass happy, pass happy, pass happy. And then finally Shane Steichen got some of the play calling, and then things start to look really good. Take 2017 with the Eagles. Remember week 2 or week 3 against the Giants, the 61-yard field goal with Jake Elliott to win the game? Remember that game? Remember during that game when and Carson Wentz told Doug, like, dude, or told Frank Reich, he's like, we need to run the ball more. As soon as they ran with LeGarrette Blount, remember the rest of that season? They just ran with everybody. It changed after that game. It changed the whole entire season. Nothing is the same as last year. Nothing will ever be the same as last year. You know? And that's just the truth, man. Jeremy says, watching our rivals getting blown out should mean something to our locker room. It should mean that the Eagles have a good enough roster to beat anybody, but it's just the players getting excited all week and getting hyped up doesn't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, they have to show up on the field. They have to show up on the field. I mean, you can't take much more out of it. You know what I mean? Jeremy says Niners choking next week for sure. I don't know about that. Brian said if we lose this game tomorrow, like Kansas Sirianni needs to go and bring in Jim Harbaugh or Bobby Sloy. They got to do something. I don't think Nick can survive. I don't think Nick can hold on to this roster and survive a whole nother year with the Eagles. I don't think it's possible. I honestly don't think that this thing can be salvaged if they actually lose this game. I don't think so. I'm hoping, but John B. said Niners are going to kill the Packers. We are not the Cowgirls. We'll see. We'll see. Playoffs are playoffs, so we'll see. Dallas got served their 4. I wanted the Packers to lay 50 on them so bad, just to kind of put the icing on the cake. Philly says then and then they signed Ajayi later on. Yeah, I get it. Go Birds, what's going on, man? Clayton says, who is the best head coach available for the Eagles? I don't know. No one has. There's some coaches that haven't technically got released yet. I mean, besides like Belichick maybe, but I mean, Mike Vrabel. I would love Mike Vrabel. I mean, there's rumors about Mike Tomlin getting fired. I mean, Mike Tomlin would be awesome. I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan. The Steelers are always, for him to, just have some new scenery and be, I think there's a lot of different options. But like I said, before they can hire anybody, it really comes down to the philosophy of what Howie Roseman and what Jeffrey Lurie is going to do to get his hands on this situation. You know what I mean? So I think that comes into consideration as well. Matthew Wall says Harbaugh's not coming to Philly. He's going to want a player personnel control wherever he is, and Howie's not surrounding player personnel control. Well, it's gonna it's gonna have to change. It's gonna have to change. Look, at the end of the day, like Howie doesn't have to give up player personnel, but he's got to be in collaboration with the coaching staff. He's got to work with them. And, even if Howie has final say, but the coaching staff needs to have their own say in look, I think we can use this guy and I think this would be the right decision. I think you should highly, highly consider it, Matthew Walsh says Mike Thomas. Who I'm Mike Vrabel. Fucking AJ Brown. AJ Brown would love Mike Vrabel. There's no doubt about it. And I would love Mike Tomlin. Would be one of my top choices, no doubt. Philly D says John B. Really, Baltimore destroyed you and lost 3 straight. Marl says I think we're getting excited for no reason. When Nick loses tomorrow, we're not firing him. I mean, we might not fire him that night, but I feel like. It really depends what happens. If they get fucking destroyed tomorrow night, I'm telling you. Easy One says, I think the Packers beat San Fran. KC beats Baltimore. We beat Bucs. We beat Lions. Yeah, we'll see. We got to take care of our own business, dude. I'm not thinking about Tampa. I'm thinking about us. Tampa is not world beaters, okay? They're not fucking world beaters. This is a really good first test of a playoff game. And Tampa's not really a fantastic team. I mean, even the last 2 weeks they played, they didn't look great. Baker Mayfield is so banged up. He's got a rib injury that's slowly healing, okay? And he's dealing with an ankle injury on top of it. It's a lot of issues. John says, I'd take Vrabel over Slowick if they fire Nick. Bigwig says, why are we firing our winning coach to replace him with someone who got fired for actually losing multiple seasons in a row? Well, dude, it's you got to take one with the other, man. I mean, dude, it just because a coach. I mean, yeah, Andy Reid got fired. Andy Reid didn't do a fucking. What did Andy Reid do with the Eagles? And look what he's doing with KC. I mean, come on now. I mean, that's just very unrealistic. I mean. coaches always get swapped. Sometimes coaches just need a new environment. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it doesn't mean it's, why do you think, why did this player get released? Why didn't this team pay that player? And why is he a free agent for this reason? Like, it's the same shit. Like coaches just need to go to get opportunities elsewhere. They're in one spot for too long, and they just need some new surroundings. And like I said, it's either going to work or it doesn't work, but it's not a bad move. I'm also watching Packers win. That's what good coaching looks like. We win based on talent. I mean, Jordan Love has never been in a playoff game, and he looked like he looked so fucking comfortable. I mean, you're playing in Dallas, first playoff game of your career in a few years. Your very first. Didn't flinch, nothing. I mean, I was very shocked at, this is a roster for the Packers offensively, a dark horse team that no one thought they would make the playoffs. They didn't really pay anybody offensively. Who do they have? They have a bunch of second-round pick guys. A lot of guys I don't even really know, tremendously. That's just a well-coached fucking team, dude. That's a well-coached team. It's really amazing to watch other teams. And I look at our team, I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is up with these guys? What's up with this coaching staff? Brian says, how his contract runs put next year. Does Jeff give him one more shot with the draft free agency and next season before he thinks of another step? I thought Howie's contract is up after this season. I think it is because I remember he signed a 3-year deal. Howie Roseman signed a 3-year contract with the Eagles. And that's before the last 3 years of when we were starting to draft really well. We took a 180 and started drafting. We started actually drafting best player available, not best player available of need for the need scheme, which I thought was pretty cool. Torville says Jordan Love was going through multiple reads and making all the throws, played a perfect game. Yeah, he was amazing. I don't think he really made any mistakes, to be honest. I didn't really see much that he really made a mistake. Man, I love these routes that these tight ends and receivers are doing. They're running the ball with Aaron Jones just down their fucking throats. Man, I get so jealous of that. I get so jealous of shit like that. SABT, always Eagles first, but I'm a huge Jordan Love fan. See Aaron Rodgers in his game. Oh, dude, there's nothing wrong with that. I like other quarterbacks, and I get fascinated by other quarterbacks that really play well. Not just because they beat the Dallas Cowboys, but Jordan Love has had a pretty good year. He's had his adversity. Ever since even Aaron Rodgers said before he left, that kid is going to be a good player in the future. Watch out. And if Aaron Rodgers says that, that there's some good things happening over there. So, the NFL Reality Check. What's going on, man? He says, I'm down for Brian Flores or Steve Wilkes. Yeah. Apparently, from what Josina Anderson has been saying, is that there will be a lot of changes on the defensive side of the ball. Why not the offensive side, number one? But the defensive side of the ball, we're going to find out. we're going to have a long off season, and we're going to find out. Blue Green says, I want to see Slay and Ringo to play. I agree. Fixigo says, on Twitch, might be a bad take, but I kind of see Packers beating San Fran. Yeah, that'd be a big upset. That'd be a big upset. They obviously need Jair Alexander back because I know he had that ankle injury, but he had his helmet off. He was sitting on the bench. He looked like he was fine. Just needs to rest up a little bit. Because to be honest with you, I think Jair Alexander actually forced himself to play. I think he forced the coaching staff to play him in this game. And thank God, because he had one of the picks. Gustavo Meza, what's going on, Mesa? I'm not going to lie. After watching the Cowboys lose, I have gotten a little bit hope for the Eagles tomorrow. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. It's nice that the Cowboys are out of it. So then it's now it's just we just need to control our own shit now, and see where we go. Now we're not going to have a home game. This is it now. Since the Rams lost, the Eagles will not have a home game for the playoffs, and that's fine. I'd rather the Eagles really get together and, they really have to. If they can become road warriors and if they can really shock us, I would be happy, but I don't feel that optimistic from the last 6 weeks that we've seen. And this playoff game is like holding so much hope on in a glass right now. And I don't know if the Eagles are going to pull it out. I want to say they're going to, but I want them to win so badly. I want this thing to look normal again. I don't know if it's going to be. I'm just realistic. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I'm not going to say, we'll be fine. I'm not going to be like that because like the last 6 weeks I've been fighting with Eagle fans non-fucking stop. And it's just like, if I say something bad about, you say bad things about the Eagles all the time, you're not a fan, you don't ride or die. I don't get that shitty fucking statement. If I didn't ride or die, I wouldn't talk about the problems. If I didn't ride or die, I wouldn't even make videos about it. I wouldn't be on YouTube, period, if I didn't care. So it's just kind of nuts. Queasy 13, what's going on, man? It says we can get a home game in San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, yeah. if, but that'd be a shocker, man. Torval says Cowboys defense line is overrated. Their defense stinks. Dude, you know what else is horrible that's happened multiple times? Micah Parsons doesn't do a fucking thing in the playoffs. This is another playoff game the Dallas Cowboys have had. Micah Parsons has been literally no fucking show. No show. He got held for a couple calls today, but that's about it. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Dan Quinn was just like, fuck this. I want to be a head coach somewhere else. I want to be another. Dan Quinn is gonna have a list of teams that want him. You know what I mean? Big Wig says no one's saying that they aren't playing bad. We're just trying to have fun watching a football game. No, I get it. I get it. Someone says no matter win or lose tomorrow, just happy Cowboys lost. Yeah, but at the end of the day, dude, we need to get our shit fixed. I mean, it doesn't matter because if we lose this game tomorrow, then we have to think about free agency, and then we have to think about all these videos are going to come out about the coaching staff and what's going to happen and all this stuff that's going on. So, Parsons so overrated. And he's probably the leader of this team and the best player on that Cowboys defense is Micah Parsons. And he's the biggest fucking crybaby, the biggest complaining asshole I have ever seen in my life. That guy is so unprofessional. And he literally makes bulletin board material on his stupid podcast, and the complaining and the crying and the woulda, coulda, shoulda bullshit. I mean, I can't stand these players that have these podcasts now. Matt says, time to run Swift, right? This is why we didn't take touches to save him for the playoffs. It's simple with Hurts' finger and AJ out. That's what I said earlier. At this point, you really have no choice. You got to protect your quarterback and keep him healthy for the playoffs. A.J. Brown needs to come back. I don't want to see this as the last game for A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith is not 100% healthy. There's no doubt about that. Guys got to stay healthy, man. The defense, we're just going to take it how it is because Matt Patricia has been worse than Sean Desai. He's been giving up 27 points to Sean Desai's 22 points. He's been giving up the big play. I mean, he choked away the Seattle game. He choked that fucking game away. Putting Bradbury on a fucking island. Why? Against JSN of all people. We can laugh at the Cowboys all we want. At the end of the day, I'm glad they lost. I'm excited. I'm just like, haha, fuck them, whatever. But at the same time, dude, I know we haven't played good the last 6 weeks. The difference between me and the rest of them is that I'm not fucking delusional. I'm not delusional every week. I don't jump into fucking chats and troll and do all that dumb bullshit because I have nothing else to do with myself. David says, Howie's not the issue. He put together a great team. It's the coaches or whoever's behind the scenes that wants to keep this offense, defense concept we have. Oh, it's got to be Nick or Howie. It's got to be Nick or Howie. You know, that's what it comes down to. It's got to be one or the other. Bigger says, broke finger, incompetent coaching, number defense, no A.J. Brown, don't matter. Eagles winning tomorrow. I hope so. I think even with A.J. Brown out, I still think they can win this game. Bob Brown says, Joey, what am I missing? We lost Arizona, New York Giants. Dallas loses, does not fix our offensive scheme to help us or stop the run. No, it doesn't. But why? I can't. But look, at the end of the day, like, the only reason why I clown on the Cowboys is because the fans talk shit to me all year. So at the end of the day, like when they lose a playoff game at home that we literally gave them the second seed and gave them the division. Okay? I have to I have to laugh at it because I get a lot of shit all year. Every time we lose a game. So it's pretty much like me just firing back a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? Parsons, I think he had a good game against us. Tastecake says, why does Brokeback Mountain and the NFL have in common? The Cowboys both suck. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Swift doesn't get 100, we lose. Probably. Philly D says, analytics team giving the plays is a problem. No. And it's so funny because if the analytics people are never the ones to blame. It's always like the players or the head coach. And I think Sirianni has some blame to do with it too. Tommy says we should use Covey a little more in the wide receiver packages. Oh yeah, dude, I'm a big believer in Britton Covey being like a third down gadget type player. Like I feel like he's more than a punt returner. I feel like Britton Covey could be a number 3 for us. I'm not even kidding. I feel like Britton Covey could do a lot more. I think there's going to be a lot more. So I liked how they've been trying to like put him in this offense a little bit, and I feel pretty good about it. But you know, we'll see what happens. You know. Dana said, "What you dip, Joey? Copenhagen or Grizz?" No, the problem is I want to get my Copenhagen or Grizzly down south because it's a lot cheaper. I run the Skull Cherry a lot because unfortunately the Copenhagen's not good up north and the Grizzly's not good up north either. It's not as fresh up north than it is down south. So that's the problem. Kavai says, Cowboys total collapse. This gives the Eagles a big chance to prove something. Totally true. Warrior Hyde says, it's healthy to laugh. Yeah, that's what, dude, of course. It's like, you can't talk shit because you still have a game tomorrow. It's like, dude, I don't care. At this fucking point, I'm already used to losing at this point. So really, like, nobody could tell me as of right now that I haven't, like, I can't look stupid. I can't look stupid because I've been completely dead honest about this team the last 6 weeks. Nobody can take nothing away from me. Nobody can take a fucking thing away from me at all. And that's the truth, you know? I miss Sproles type player, and that's true. Ryan Campbell says, it doesn't have anything to do with Dallas. We don't care about your agenda, bro. Okay. Starforce says, I feel like it takes one spark to get the Eagles going. And if they score early and shut down Tampa's defense in the first drive, they'll have a shot. Dude, all they have to do, you have to run the offense through DeAndre Swift. If I had to figure out the identity to this team, okay? If I had to figure out the identity, it would have to be, okay, you run the offense through DeAndre Swift. When DeAndre Swift gets that big run, the Eagles do like a fast-paced offense. Dude, the Eagles are in such good rhythm. Jalen Hurts is in a really good rhythm off the grit, off that excitement from DeAndre Swift on those big runs. You know what I mean? I like that's where I kind of go with it. That's the only way, really. I don't get excitement off Kenneth Gainwell. And look, Gainwell is nothing but a rotational guy. Gainwell should not be getting more snaps. Gainwell's doing more in this offense than Swift is. I mean, you're putting Gainwell in the passing game. You're putting him in motion. Like he's no threat. like Kenneth Gainwell isn't a threat to this offense. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, no. This is some bullshit, dude. JB says, problem is you want more collaboration between coaches and front offices, but we have collaboration now, and these are the results. Something has to step away. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. Simple as that. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many cooks in the kitchen that are competing with recipes and not figuring out the right recipe. That's the way it's going right now. That's the way it is right now, unfortunately. Sean Rutherford says, so you're so worried about Dallas when you fools should be worried about the Bucs, and thinking the Dallas game has anything to do with the Eagle game makes no sense. Oh, Dallas lost, so we should win. Dude, I have to laugh at them. I laugh at them because they have this so-called better team, this doomsday defense, and a quarterback that was supposedly supposed to be the MVP this year, to go into that the Eagles literally fumbled away, giving them a home game. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm not worried about anything. If the Eagles lose tomorrow, they lose. Like, is it going to shock the world? Is it going to shock me? No, it's not going to shock me at all. But I have to be real to myself to say that if they do win, sure, like it's exciting. But do I think they're going to win? The last 6 weeks haven't really showed me that much to think that things are going to change. It hasn't. But if I can get a shot to laugh at the Dallas Cowboys for losing a game, why not? They do it to us every fucking week. Simple as that. I don't feel bad I used to care what people thought maybe 6 years ago. Now I don't give a shit. Now I'm just like, you know what? If I want to laugh at somebody, I'll laugh at somebody. If I want to tell the truth about my own team, I'll tell the truth about my own team. So there are Eagle fans that think we'll lose. There are Eagle fans that think we'll win. I have nothing against anybody that says we'll lose tomorrow. I have nothing against anybody that thinks we're going to win tomorrow. All I want is this team to win tomorrow. That's what I really want. I'm not that guy. See, the fans that I don't like are the ones that say, oh, I want us to lose so we make changes. Like, fucking seriously, dude. Like, we have a playoff game, and regardless if we're playing good or been playing bad, we still have we're watching our Eagles play another week. We're you know what I mean? Like, we have another game to play, regardless of how toxic everything is right now. We have another game to play. So Dale Perez says, I think the Eagles lose tomorrow. Eagles fans just going to put on the Cowboys versus Packers game maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Rogue says, hey, Philadelphia Eagles fans, just start holding signs to fire Nick Sirianni and let's hire Jim Harbaugh, Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll, or Bill Belichick. We need one of the top 4 coaches. Fly, let's fly. Yeah, I mean, it's not promising they'll hire any of those guys. It's just until the philosophy changes, their hiring process changes, the control aspect from GM to head coach changes when it comes to the offseason and obviously in season. They won't hire any of those coaches unless that changes. Ron says, man, I hope our boys find some sort of motivation to win Monday after what Dallas just displayed. If we can win tomorrow, Joey, how do you feel going into Detroit? I'll feel better. If they run with Swift over 20 times, I'll feel, and if they run with him and they win, I'll feel better. And then someone in the chat and I wasn't even thinking about this, 'cause I'm not even thinking about shit like this. Like, DeAndre Swift would have his fucking revenge game against the Lions in Detroit. I mean, that would be like fucking perfect, man. Totally perfect. Who wouldn't want that, you know? Tay said, what's the difference between a crying baby and Dallas Cowboy when eventually the baby stops crying? Man, that is crazy. That is crazy. Sean Rutherford says, not mad because you're trashing Dallas, just wondering what significance it has on the Philly game. Nothing. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with it. Nothing. Because they played a 7 seed and the Eagles gave them not even a road game. They gave them they gave them a playoff game at home. And because I'm an Eagle fan, why can't we laugh at them? They laugh at us, so why do I have to like sit in a corner because we haven't played our game yet? Who cares? If the Eagles lose tomorrow, it's fine. I'll take all the shit. I'll take all the crap I could get. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. Like it doesn't. Who cares? Like I know in my own heart, like. I'm true about this team every fucking week, every day. And the last 6 weeks have been abysmal, just haven't been good. Rogue said, I think Jeffrey Lurie will change. I think Mike Vrabel is most likely with Frank Reich as OC. That would be great. That'd be awesome. Jamie says, no more bullshit about holding players till the playoffs. It is the playoffs, and these players need to play. Yeah, I know. Players have got to show up. This coaching staff needs to, like... I don't want to see Nick Sirianni going up and down the sideline, not reprimanding anybody, and just sitting there, and I don't know. I just... If I got to see him walk up and down the sideline with his arms crossed and nothing's going to happen, it's just... I don't know. My email says, I'm mad the Rams didn't win. Would have been nice to have a home playoff game if we survived tomorrow. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know what? Maybe it was meant for us to be on the road. Maybe it was meant for us to be on the road. I don't know. Could be. You know? Dylan Knight says, salty Dallas fans mad. You think they'd master the coat by now? No, and you know what, dude? Like, here's the respect I don't have for Cal, especially some of the guys that make content on that team. Okay, a lot of the guys disappear. A lot of the guys will. When we lose a game, I'm always here. When we win a game, I'm always here. Trust me. Like, I don't disappear for 5-6 days. You know. Tyler says CJ Gardner-Johnson versus Philly too. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be the first time. And CJ's a free agent after this year. The Eagles desperately need a fucking safety after this year, besides linebacker and if Bradbury's still here, or whatever the fuck's going on with the Isaiah Rodgers stuff, which is good, and Keely Ringo coming along. Like, CJ's gonna play the Eagles. And. CJ's had some really good things to say, this year, just his attitude, his swagger, just the way he handles himself. And he's just a natural born person that you would follow on the football field. And I kind of miss that because this defense just has no leadership at this point, Oh, I watched it. I already watched it already. Yeah, I watched it already. I went back in the stream and I watched it. It was pretty funny. Philly D says, Sean Rutherford, you okay out in the VHS tapes from your parents and put them on the Dallas was relevant, will help you out. G-Boy says, when will Mark Holmes go away? I think he's a diehard, man. He's a diehard of his team. Does the facts I always respect the congrats you and Philly give after each loss, you guys stand on business for us less mature Eagles fans, so thank you. No, I do. Like, we're just very realistic about what's going on, and that's just how it should be. Like, we don't script anything. Everything what we say is strictly like on point to like what comes out happens. That's how it is with me and him. I can't believe I want James Bradbury or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Well, the thing is, if we signed Chauncey, we wouldn't have signed Bradbury. That's the whole thing to that deal. Bradbury was signed because the Chauncey thing didn't go through. So Tyler says, I want Wink to be our DC and bring Xavier McKinney with him. Yeah, I don't know about that. Wink is going to have a lot of opportunity. And another coach that him and Brian DeBall didn't get along. There was a lot of reports that came out after he left that him and Brian DeBall bumped heads all year. Danny Dimes is still going to be the quarterback over there next year, and it doesn't help the defense out one bit. I love Wink Martindale because he's an old school coach. He's an old school, he's a very aggressive coach, and that's what I like, and that's what I wish that was in here. With his own playbook, they need two coordinators. They need a head coach that calls plays or a coordinator. They need two coordinators that bring in their own style of play calling. You know what I mean? They need this way when we find out that they are at least to blame. The problem is it's like, man, we don't even know we know now it's Nick Sirianni, that he's behind, like the offensive game plan is on Nick, and that's probably the things I didn't want to find out this year, that I was hoping it wasn't going to be true, and then it really became true, and kind of sucks. Dylan said, I'm so shocked the Giants don't admit their loss and draft a nice QB. Well, they're stuck with Danny now because of his money. Like, they're stuck. They can't do anything unless they take a big loss. They just can't take a big loss like that in the dead cap hit. Like, they're stuck with Danny for another couple years. Like, they might be able to get rid of him after next year, just depending on like how much is left on his deal and how much the Giants will pay for him to go into free. I don't know, but Clayton Panbecker says every Cowboys fan is shopping for a new TV because they smashed them like they lose. Philly D, what's going on, man? Says win. Tommy says, so we know Bradbury only looked great last year was purely due to our sacks. Well, yeah, dude, like if your defensive line, if your four-man pass rush can get to the quarterback naturally without blitzing, yeah, your secondary will look really good. Yeah, of course. I thought Bradbury had good coverage last year. I thought he was used a lot better last year, but this year has been horrible. I mean, he's not worth the $12, $13 million a year that we're giving him right now. So that's for a damn fact. No doubt. Eagles of Lance's cow chokes got packed up. Yeah. And now we got to go take care of business tomorrow and see what happens. We got to take care of business tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to win. I hope a few things need to happen. I think Hurts needs to be more patient in the pocket. I think DeAndre Swift, we need to run. I mean, the number one thing I'm thinking about with this offense is running the football. I mean, it's just, it has to happen. If it doesn't, they're not winning the game. It's the truth. EC1 says, I'm getting excited for Eagles playoffs. I don't know why. Well, dude, it's always exciting. But the thing is, like, for me, the playoffs, like the Eagles having a playoff right now, it's felt very weird. It's felt weird because, like, a team that looks this bad right now would never have a playoff game. We know the talent that's around this team. We know the talent that's there. Offensively, this is a top 3 roster, in my opinion. And it's being underutilized to non-perfection. I mean, it's who's getting their hands on opening certain things up for certain players. It's troubling. Ray Hyde says, we could do it on the road and run the table. Trust me. Hey, look, there's a chance. There's a chance. There's always that question, like, what if they change things around? I don't know. I don't know. I think it makes the game more. I think having a playoff game under these circumstances makes the playoff game actually more exciting because it's like, man, like with all the drama going around with the Eagles and, I don't want to talk about new coaches. I don't want to talk, I report everything that's reported. That's what I do on here. That's what I like doing. And, but do I want to think about new coaches? No. Do I want to think about new, the Eagles have a playoff game, Robbie says, who's going to pick up Danny Don? Look, Daniel Jones at this point, he's already had two neck injuries. He's had an ACL. He's had some really bad injuries the last few years, So I don't know. So what's the situation with Bradbury? Can we afford to cut him? I don't know. I have to go over the numbers, and Bradbury's not good enough. If you can't, unless you go into next year, unless you go into next offseason and you get a defensive coordinator and you get a guy that we never expected to get and he's going to be aggressive, Bradbury might work out, because your defensive line will get there a lot quicker and it'll be a lot easier, for the secondary, to cover up and not give up these big chunk plays. But this bend don't break shit that Nick wanted to keep Gannon's defense this isn't Gannon's defense from last year, because Gannon, what he did to us in this game, how aggressive he was, and he's been aggressive with the Cardinals all year. So we're seeing like a little bit of control over Gannon they had control over Gannon last year. They must have, because Gannon's defense looks totally different this year. Players are leaving this team and being successful elsewhere. It really fucking pisses me off. Derek Barnett gets, Joe Flacco played a bad game with the Browns, but Jesus Christ, like, look at Derek Barnett. Not saying I wanted him back or anything, but Derek Barnett is getting pressures. He's got 2.5 sacks, 15 tackles the last few weeks that he was on the roster once we really cut Derek Barnett. Like Steven Nelson, another corner we had. It's TJ Edwards. I mean, it's Alex Singleton. The list goes on. The list just goes on and on. The Eagles need to change their philosophy in a lot of things and pay more attention to other positions that we never pay attention to. Because you can't go, like, Nakobe Dean is out for the whole year. He was on IR 2 times. He was hurt 3 times this year. Like, what do you, like, it's kind of crazy, man. It's fucking nuts, honestly. It's kind of crazy. Just tired of that shit. I'm tired of seeing shit like that. I'm tired of players going to other teams and because we can't utilize these guys the right way. You dipped into free agency 4 times for fucking linebackers. I mean, everybody's on a 1-year deal. Besides Nakobe Dean. They went into this offseason or into this season saying, oh, we got Nakobe Dean, we'll be fine. That's what they went. They went to the season doing that. So Shane says, everybody forgetting Bucs barely won against Panthers 9-0 last week, so they're not. Well, no, I think that was 2 weeks ago. They 2 weeks ago, the second to last game, they beat the Panthers 9-0. 9-0, okay? And then they got beat by the Saints the week after. I think they lost the last 2 games of the season. They haven't really looked great, and Baker's been pretty hurt. And Baker's still hurt right now. We got Margaret Holmes with the super chat. What's going on, man? So listen, Lab by Azov said, watch us be a totally different team in the playoffs, and we run with Swift 20 plus times. Our defense blitz and plick up and plays up on a receiver. I would still shake my head. I can't believe there are fans saying that the Eagles are holding everything in their back pocket for the playoffs, that the Eagles are going to look night and day in the playoffs, that they're holding back. And I'm telling you right now, okay, if they look that different, I'm literally going to hit myself in the head and be like, seriously, dude, this was the game plan. I don't think you choke away the 1st seed because you want to save it for the playoffs. I don't think you choke away the 2 seed. I don't think you give away the division for those reasons. I don't think that's the case. If that is, that's pretty bad. That's really that's pretty fucking ballsy, honestly. I think that's really ballsy. Just a little bit. Just saying. You give all that up just for that. Empire Fire says Kevon Wallace, successful with the Titans. Christian Ellis, they got rid of him. Why didn't they? And that's the thing that pisses me off. Like, why did Christian Ellis just get flat out released? Like, he's a good special teams player. Like, why they just fucking release him? And he got picked up immediately. It pisses me off. Derek Barnett, Terrell Edmonds went to Tennessee. Sean Desai balling after Eagles cut him. What do you mean, Sean? And Sean Desai balling after Eagles cut him. What do you mean balling? Well, you're saying that Sean Desai looked better than Matt Patricia. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say Sean Desai deserves a medal, but his defense, his play calling of this defense, or whatever defense it is, Nick's defense looked better. Philly DC never thought losing Edwards would hurt this much, and it did. Dude, of course, yeah. I mean, look, TJ Edwards was very affordable, and they didn't bring him back. That's what you get, man. That's what you get. And the Bears, and here's the thing, like the Bears, like ended up playing a lot better this year. They played a lot better. They fired their defensive coordinator, and they hired, I don't know who took over for play calling, but the Bears actually didn't play a bad year. Like, they had a really bad beginning year, middle year, and then they really started to pick it up really good. So Mr. Phil says, Todd, can you let us have this, please? Jordan says, we only need one playoff win and a good second round loss to reach expectations. Let's be real. This defense is bare bones, and has been so we missed out on Baker form the Cardinals. You mean from the from Buda Baker? Yeah, I mean he got a little bit extra. He got like a pay raise or something like that. But you think like winning? So at least if we win one playoff game, you'll be happy. Does that save Nick's job? You know, I don't know. Because the Eagles can go in. Look, if the Eagles beat Tampa and they go into Detroit, and then DeAndre Swift shows the Lions why they shouldn't have got rid of him, just as like a fucking, just as for a bragging right game for him. Because I guarantee you, like, the Lions probably didn't think Swift would ever stay healthy this year with the Eagles, and they probably didn't think that he was going to get over 1,000 yards. His first 1,000-yard season from his hometown. Okay. Philly D says Ocho could be right. Yeah, so Ocho talked about the Eagles are playing possum or something like that. That they're gonna explode in the playoffs and nobody knows about it. There's insider info. You know, I don't know. I don't know about all that. They won 9-0 last game. All right. I thought that was 2 weeks. I thought that was 2 weeks ago. I thought they played the Panthers and the Saints. Shane says, just sucks to Edwards. He wanted to go home and play for his home team. He was offered more money by Howie. Just wish we could have. I don't remember that. Did they? I don't remember seeing that they offered him more money. I don't remember seeing that report. I even talked to Philly. I don't even think he saw that report. I never saw a report the Eagles offered him more money. I don't remember that. Nathaniel Perez says, would you be surprised the Eagles lose tomorrow and don't fire Nick but get rid of OC and DC? Nah, it wouldn't shock me, no, because this is they're not going to move forward this way. They're wasting their roster away. They're just going to waste the personnel that they have away. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's a move. That's the basic thing that they could do that's going to piss me off. Adam said we have to win. We do. Tyler Discreto says Swift versus Lions, Slay versus Lions, Chauncey R. Johnson versus Philly, and Matt Patricia versus Lions. A lot of storyline. Yeah, be a nice setup game, a nice script for it. Big Wig says they're not playing possum, but they definitely played vanilla offense thinking it was enough to win. And it's been going on for weeks. It's been going on for weeks. Keep up the good work, Joey. Fly was fly. Thank you, Jaquan. Thank you so much, man. Steven Lou says, is there priority to re-sign Swift? Yes. If I was in control, Swift would be my number one guy we re-sign. And yes, I obviously the price has to be right, and I get it, but Swift just turned 25 years old today. Okay? You're not going to find a Swift too easily. And to be honest, I don't think he'd want to leave. Why? That's a running back. A running back's dream is to run behind a top offensive line in the league. So I get it, but I wish there was more to it. I wish they do re-sign him. That's what I would do. Besides, just wait, just be patient. When a moment is right, the stage too big. What can go wrong will go wrong. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know why I didn't know that. I don't even remember that. G Money says, "What's your G Money Dadlive 215 says, what's your thoughts on Sean Bradley? He's just a special teamer. He's a nice energy type player that we definitely miss, no doubt. But I think mostly he is just a special teamer. I don't think he's anything really else, to be honest. Maybe a backup linebacker, but he's nothing. He's more of a special teams guy." Bigwig says, "Yeah, they offered TJ Moore, but wanted to play for his hometown." Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see a report of that. Joey, the script has already been written. It's another Philly versus Kansas City Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, Miami lost in cold weather, bro. Like, Miami doesn't play in weather like that. Like, that's their downfall. So I'm okay with keeping Sirianni if we get him experienced coordinators on both sides with their own schemes. None of this first-year play caller stuff. Yeah. If that's the case, I don't know. For me, I feel like Nick just can't be a player. Like, Nick just can't be here to be a player's coach. He needs to be involved, but he needs to be involved where he's not touching too much of everything. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. I could be wrong. Happy Dallas choke season, everyone. Yeah. 439 people in the chat. Make sure you like up. Hey, guys, trust me, if you're happy the Dallas Cowboys lost, hit the like button on this stream. It does help with the channel a lot. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're covering the Eagles every single day. We'll be doing a live reaction play-by-play of the Eagles-Bucs game in Tampa tomorrow night. So we'll be streaming and doing post games and being real busy tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Check out the pinned comment for memberships to support the channel as well. It does help out a lot. So we've been kind of going nuts and doing our thing. So Ryan says, how much would Swift get? Maybe $6 a year? Yeah, I think that's the same. I think that's the same Miles Sanders got with the Panthers, I think. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Eagles should have like $28 to $30 million in cap space. I mean, that's what I think that's what they're going to have. But we'll see though. So you see your stupid bubble screens. You can't remember a positive play as Smitty got hurt. Yeah, let's use Smitty on blocking on screens. Let's do that. Chris says, let's face it, we beat the Bucs barely, but do we have anything in the tank to face the Lions? I'm not sure, but we have to see tomorrow what we're working with. Yeah, it's true. Because the Lions just play really fucking tough, and they play physical. And if the Eagles aren't prepared to take that and answer back, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. Jordan says, Joey, I just want you to know that I appreciate your honesty with how you feel about the team. People take it in the wrong way at times, but I'm the same way. I'm upset when they underperform, etc. I appreciate it, man, very much. Well, I have to say how I feel, whether people like it or dislike it. You're not gonna look. You have to know something. Like, I think everybody knows this, and if you don't, then I don't know what world you're living in. But people are gonna try to bring you down on your opinions, and at the end of the day, like I'm never gonna be censored. Like, I'm always gonna have my own opinion about this team, and if people like it, great. If not, it is what it is. I want to be known for just being honest. And I think that's the number one thing that we don't get in this world too often is honesty. And if I'm not honest, then, at the end of the day, like, I cover this team, and like when things are going great, it's fun for all of us. But the slight second this team is starting to go sour or things aren't going the way we want, I start to see who the real Eagle fans are. I start to see, who's going to keep rolling with this team, but obviously staying positive. But at the same time, it's going to be very realistic on what's going on. Like I've fought with a lot of people, so it's been kind of nuts. We got Michaela Cox. What's going on? Appreciate the super chat. Says, hey, Joey, score predictions for tomorrow. I'm not... I don't know. I don't like score. I haven't given a score prediction since we lost to since we lost to the 49ers, to be honest. I haven't felt like they're deserving of a score prediction because they're not really... I don't know what team we're going to see tomorrow. If I had a blueprint, we have to find out, like if they destroy Tampa Bay tomorrow, it's going to Detroit. It's going to be a very interesting game. If they barely win and they win by a field goal, and I understand winning is just winning at the end of the day, but I need to see a little bit more domination in what they're doing. I need to see more consistency and shooting ourselves in the foot every series. I just need to see more. So if I'm going to guess, I'll say 28-24 Eagles. Close game. Eagles rally out the fourth quarter. Appreciate the super, by the way. It's hard for me to do a score prediction. I hate score predictions. I hate it. Especially when the team's not playing well. I can't stand doing it. Shane says, I think this year you got to draft a number one corner. Let's go for BJ. Let go of BJ Cox. You got to go next year with Slay as number 2 and then keep developing Ringo for when Slay's gone. Well, Slay's got one more year left. 24 is his last year, is what I looked at. Yeah, I mean, they have to go linebacker. I mean, look, I would. They got 2 second-round picks. There's a good chance they can get a really good linebacker one of those 2 picks. I think they have to. But the number one pick. I mean, yeah. Obviously the Eagles will have they lost the last 5 out of 6 games, so obviously that draft pick definitely probably went down a little bit, but probably not by that much. So the Eagles will have the pick of the litter out of the first round, and a corner will probably be, I think if you're going to keep Slay, and they have to figure something out with Bradbury, you draft the corner in the first round, and you kind of let Slay be with him, to take over maybe later on. We'll see. We're going to see what Eli Ricks is all about. Keely Ringo, more snaps. And, Isaiah Rodgers is a new nickel corner coming into town. Avonte Maddox is going to have a $10 million cap hit next year. There's no way the Eagles are going to keep him with that cap number. It's not going to happen. So I'm figuring that you're going to need another defensive end. You're going to need another right tackle. You need Lane Johnson's replacement at this point. And then we have to see if Kelsey's even retiring after this year. I don't think he's going to. But you're going to have to figure out a right tackle replacement for the future. And like I said, linebacker has got to be in the cards. It has got to be. Not in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. I'm speaking this shit's got to be like one of those 2 second-round picks. Really depends what they do in free agency. Really depends what they do there. But they can't keep that position the way it is for a long time because it's going to be just insane. G-Money says Trotter Jr. at linebacker. That's my number one guy because he'll either be a very late first rounder or I could see him as a second round pick going into next year. See, Lewis, I thought Albert O would have contributed this year. What's your thoughts? They traded for him. That he was a healthy scratch for a lot of games. They sat him when he was healthy. They didn't activate him at a lot of games, and I feel like they wasted it. I don't know. Albert O. Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stahl, I get it, but 2 guys with a lot of playing time. Albert O. Oh. Albert O has been pretty. Albert O is a really good trade, and the Eagles kept 4 tight ends on the roster, which they never do. So that was probably one of the most surprising things. But Albert O is a very interesting one because I feel like he's got some acrobatic catching. I feel like his speed's really good. He can open up. He's got good route running. He's very athletic for a tight end. Might be one of the probably the fastest tight end we have right now. Probably faster than Calcaterra. So I don't know. We're going to see. We're just going to have to see what happens, We got Morgan Holmes with Super Chat. Says, Joey, I'm telling you, if the Eagles play like a whole different team in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, the multiverse does exist. I will take it. Yeah, I will too. I'll be happy with it. But I don't know how much different. If I see them run with if I see them just attack, like it's going to be interesting. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, Morgan. Money Cat Chaser TTV says, "What if we see a whole different team tomorrow? Something we haven't all year." I think of it. You think Eagles play the way they did this year to disguise and hide what you're gonna, what they unleash? I got faith. Like I said earlier in the stream, dude. Like. The problem I'm having right now is like, why would you choke away the first seed? You were 10-1. You had a 2-game lead in the conference. You choke away the first seed. You choke away the second seed, and then you just choke away the division away. Like, do you really lose all that as a plan? I don't know. I can't say that that's 100% right. Maybe there was discussion of that they would hide some things and play the way they've been playing because it'll help us out in the playoffs. But I'm not going to put too much into that, though. Not too much into that. As much as I want to believe you, trust me. Mr. Phil says, Joey, do you realistically think we'll get a new head coach soon? It depends on this game. It really comes down to Monday night. What happens, and I really don't know what's going to happen. Chris says we kept 4 tight ends and didn't use them appropriately. No, Dallas Goedert's had some game. I think Dallas Goedert's got an injury problem on top of it because he's got this injury that it wasn't his fault, like he got his forearm broken pretty much, so. Gotta get him more involved. Rogue says Nick wasted the year not using Albert O or Penny or Nolan Smith. Well, I think we found out why they weren't using Penny. I think we found out because his pass protection is god awful. It's awful. LG says all we need is a win. All we need a win after that. After that, who knows? Yeah, I want them to at least win a playoff game. Like I want them to win the whole thing, but I don't know what team is going to show up. I don't know what team is going to show up. At all. I wish I had the answer to it, to be honest. I wish I was, realistic with it. Bidwick says they're up in the Seahawks and Cardinals. They didn't think they'd choke. They tried to win vanilla. It came down to the last play in those games. That's true. Yeah, it's a quiet night tonight. It's a quiet. I think I had one Cowboys fan say like a couple things in this chat. I think one guy. It's about it. TV Dawkins says we will blanket the Bucs and beat the Lions. NFC Championship. Here we come. The setup, the fucking setup of a lifetime that we would get. Imagine winning this game against the Bucs and then like DeAndre Swift, Matt Patricia, and like Slay have their revenge game. It's crazy. It's a crazy time. Oh, they'll be back. When we lose, we'll be back. They'll be back if we lose this game tomorrow. Simple as that. So it is what it is. And they think that like they're getting brownie points for like talking shit after they lose. Like they completely choked in the best spot that the Eagles literally gave them. You know, like, if the Eagles were already bad, then why is it a big deal to throw it in Eagle fans' faces that we lost? Like, you know, if we already know the team is bad, it doesn't, they think it's hurting us as much, but it's really not. Like, it hurt them tonight. It hurt them tonight, no doubt, because I don't think they expected that. They didn't expect none of that. Cowboys cockroaches are crying. I wish they would have used Penny at the end of the game as finisher. Yeah, they didn't. Unfortunately, they didn't. You know, that's what I want. That's how I want to use them. Train said the team that lost to the Giants and the Cards. DRVR8 says they showed you all season who they are. Ray said Penny was a waste of a roster spot. Oh, you damn right he was. Money Chaser says Underdog Mash should come back. Yeah. They don't need to use an item to show how they can claw back up. They need to show their true selves of how they can claw their way back up out of this thing. You know. I'll just say, if Green Bay showed us anything today, is that the playoffs are a whole new season. Cowgirls were undefeated at home. Anything could happen, my guy. We need you to keep the faith, dude. Like, the Cowboys are the playoffs are a different animal. It always is. But the Cowboys didn't use what they did throughout the whole season. They didn't have an aggressive run game. The CeeDee Lamb Dak connection was fucking totally off. Like how does all that? Dan Quinn was playing. Dan Quinn, did you see Dan Quinn's defense looked like the fucking Eagles? Dan Quinn was playing off coverage, zone coverage, soft coverage. Why, I don't know. I mean, it's fucking embarrassing, dude. Like, and I don't really care. It's them at the end of the day, but you know. The Eagles have an opportunity here to do some good things. I don't know how much is actually going to change. I don't. I want to believe, and I'm going to support them tomorrow night. I'm going to root for them tomorrow night, and that's all I care about. If I root for my team, it is what it is. But, you know, they start getting fucking destroyed. Man, like, you guys haven't learned. Coaching staff hasn't learned. Don't embarrass yourselves on national television tomorrow night. Yeah, Chauncey versus Eagles as well. TK says the worry is Eagles looking ahead of Lions and overlooking the Bucs. What? No. This team they're not good enough right now to fucking overlook anybody. I don't think overlooking is in their heads right now. Rogue says, how to shut the Cowboys fans up. Just have Packers send their bags home. Williams P says, and Cowboys got first place schedule next season. Yeah, that's going to be it. Yeah, they will. So the Eagles schedule, I mean, the opponents don't look that bad. I mean, it just depends on how we look. I mean, you can look at, I hate doing schedules because they're very unrealistic. But Chris says, realistically, Matt Patricia could easily beat the Lions like Jonathan Gannon beat us. Run the defense to beat the offense you practiced against like Gannon did. Top says, I actually have a little bit of hope, which is weird to say. These playoffs are just a little weird this year. Like, the feeling of these playoffs are just weird. You know? It's like, it's weird, right? Like, the Eagles have played like shit, horrible, the last 6 weeks. Okay? The Cowboys have played pretty damn well. The Cowboys just lost against a 7-seed team. And the Eagles are like the standalone team in the NFC East right now. And they have a playoff game to play tomorrow, which is kind of nuts. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Rogue says they could have kept Ellis over Penny. That was a mistake. I get it. DRVR8 says maybe Dan Quinn tanked so he could get hired in Seattle. LJ says all we got, all we need. That's it. I'm ready, dude. I'm gonna be supporting this team tomorrow night. I'm excited. I'm excited about the game tomorrow night. I'm not like, I'm not going to be that fan that's going to be like, oh, I want them to lose because I need changes to be made. Like, dude, like how sad is that? It's just really sad that people have that mindset. Like, yeah, they played like shit the last 6 weeks. They played like, I have like they played like shit all year, but they haven't played 4 quarters of good football all year. During that gauntlet, they were just like, yeah, let's just not do anything. Let's just play the same way we do in the first half, and just let's just put everything on Jalen Hurts' shoulders, and just I mean that's what they did. Every fucking game was a heart attack this year. There was not one non-comforting game this year. Gilly the kid came Eagles locker room. He don't play when it comes. Oh, I saw that video. That was actually pretty funny. Sean says, well, the Cowboys don't beat Green Bay, and Green Bay wins in Jerry World prior to this playoff game. Add that in the choke season, then you'll understand why they weren't going to win. I get it. I mean, it wasn't expected. I didn't think Packers were going to do that to them, especially since they had a home game. I said, well, Dallas has been good at home all year, but it clearly shows you that the playoffs are just a different animal. And I feel like front offices get involved too much. I feel like too many teams don't take. See, that's the thing with Doug Peterson. Like even Nick Sirianni last year, like how we got to the playoffs, we took what we were successful with and didn't change it. Too many teams change way too much. They get way too cute when they get into the playoffs, and they take away so much, and there's always issues, and there's then all these issues pop up. The Dallas Cowboys are having issues. But like I said, when it comes to Dak Prescott is the last ranked quarterback when trailing in games in the NFL. He is the biggest choker. Statistically, he has the most turnovers, and he's the most inaccurate quarterback when it comes to trailing in games. And this is what he does when they're up 14-0, 21-0, 20-0, whatever it was, so they missed the extra point. Like when Dak has to play catch up, he chokes. Like that's what he does. And then like we're dealing with almost the same thing where like Brian Johnson has 2 interviews right now with NFL teams, but the league knows why. The league knows that Brian Johnson is calling the plays out of Nick's playbook, and everyone knows around the league how the Eagles run things. That's why he's going to be the scapegoat. Jonathan Gannon was the scapegoat last year, even though Jonathan Gannon pissed me off at the end of the year with his tampering. But Brian Johnson is definitely the scapegoat for this head coach and for things to stay the same. Like Colin Cowherd said today, he said if you have a head coach, like you change coordinators, like nothing should change that much. Here's the reason why Shane Steichen was the brains last year, because when you had Shane Steichen and he was calling all the plays, okay, the Eagles offense didn't really miss a beat at all. There was maybe a few games where they didn't run with Miles Sanders enough in the first half, whatever. But at the end of the day, if Brian Johnson leaves, okay, nothing is going to change. Nothing will change. I don't know. But I don't see this getting I don't see it getting better if they don't change the philosophy, and that's all I'm really saying. Andy Reid lost the fucking offensive coordinator this past year. Eric Bieniemy left, and obviously KC dropped in a little bit of production, but look where they're at. You know what I mean? Like they're still somewhat of a productive team. It's really showing that Steichen was the brains last year, and once he left, everything changed. Everything fucking changed. Colin Cowherd said, if you head coaches deal with changes all the time. But the problem is with this head coach and Nick Sirianni, the problem is that he has so much control over this shit now, which now it's fully his playbook, and he's just giving it off to another coach that shouldn't even have the title of offensive coordinator. It's just insane, man. It's absolutely insane. Big Day Rock says the philosophy has to change. As soon as Swift gets going, they abandon the run game. Yeah, and that's what I don't like either. Like last week, like the last game, right? Against the Giants. They run with DeAndre Swift 2 fucking times. I think it was the first series, actually. They ran with DeAndre Swift 2 times. It was like 3rd and fucking 2. I think it was 3rd and 2. And they took Swift out. They put Kenneth Gainwell in. And now the defense is like, well, they're not running the ball, obviously, because they put another running back in. Why would they, if Swift had 2 pretty good runs and he only needs a 3rd and 2, why would they switch running backs? Because they did a stupid dump-off pass, and he got clogged up by 2 guys. 2 giant defenders clogged him up for no fucking yards. You know, like that pisses me off tremendously. They're making it too predictable. When they sub in certain guys at certain moments, you're just giving it away at that point. Throwing these unnecessary daggers downfield for what fucking reason? And every time the Eagles have a chance to put a team away on a specific drive that's so important, they fucking they pass. They're just pass happy. As soon as DeAndre Swift, is not doing too well, or he kind of like it's like a 2-yard run, they'll pass like the next like fucking 6 times in 2 series, and that shit's got to fucking stop. It's got to stop. I can't stand it. Bidwick says last year definitely was our year and we blew it, but I still believe we win 1 or 2 playoff games this year. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Tell that to teams who lost corners didn't go far in the playoffs. Way more disappointing seasons than not. It's just not true. Coaches can always keep going. Oh, I think you can keep going, but the hiring process is the worst for the Eagles. The hiring process is bad. They just want to get, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's still pretty fucking bad. Because the one thing I can't stand that's always a fail at times with the Eagles is promoting from within. Like, Mike Groh as an offensive coordinator makes this shit look like, seriously. Like Mike Groh being an offensive coordinator for this team a while back, okay, makes this offense look fucking like it's nuts, dude. It's nuts how bad this looks. It was never this bad. Not this bad. I mean, this to an extent where your plays look beyond. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, I can't even. Did we really have it this bad with Chip? I mean, that's how bad this offense is. How it's poorly run right now. Thomas said, "PRP, I gotta go out. You see, peace out. Work, Joey. I got work tomorrow. Have a good rest. Yeah, you too, Tommy. Have a good night, man. Casey is right where we are, bro. I know. It's like the 2 teams that met last year, you know. Like we said, Dak's second team All-Pro lost to the 7th seed. It's fucking nuts, dude. KC struggled, got ripped in the media, made the playoffs, and showed they could still win. Why not us? I know. I agree. There's a limiting factor in like giving these players any assurance. When you lose this bad for 5-6 weeks, it's nothing but no changes are being made. Like, what's the holdup here? Why aren't the Eagles being more productive? Why are they doing the same plays? What's with the bubble screens? Why is Jalen Hurts running with the football in his hand so much? Why isn't the offense working for Jalen Hurts? Why don't they throw really quick passes off the line? Why don't they do more RPO? Why don't they aggressively just run with Swift to get the dynamic going and maybe get more better rhythm with Jalen Hurts? Like, why are they've set these players up to fail. That's why it's really hard for me to think about this playoff game and say that that they can dominate on Monday night. It's really tough. It's really, really tough. But we'll see, dude. We'll find out. Mahomes and Kelsey legit having meltdowns and drama. Yeah, and that's not good either. You know what I mean? Like, but they picked themselves. The coaching staff makes sure that they pick themselves back up and they put them in good positions to win football games. And it's crazy. Sean says that when Mike Rowe left, Doug went 4-11-1 the following year. It's crazy, dude. Rose, the playbook is bad. It looks worse than high school. It's like Pee Wee football. And even the games where we're running play action, like we weren't even running the ball, and they're running play action like a million times. Like, to run play action, you have to have a successful run game. Otherwise, the play action won't work. If teams know you're not going to hand the ball off and you're going to be that pass happy, why are you running play action like 7 straight fucking plays? So it's annoying. Voice piece of Joey, what if the Eagles showed potential playbook instead of high in regular season? If they show me something different Monday night, I'll be like, dude, what the fuck happened? If they really surprise me, I'm talking like my jaws drop to the fucking ground, eyes wide open, and I'm passing out, then I don't know. Then I really don't know what the fuck they were doing the last 6 weeks. This past 6 weeks have been, I mean, I've never seen a team crumble this fucking bad in my life of watching this team. It's bad. I think Sirianni is afraid to use a simple game plan like run the ball with Swift. He overwhelms himself with different game plan that involves everyone like AJ, Hurts, Smith, Goddard. Yeah, I believe that too, because I feel like, if Devontae Smith's statistics are down in the game and we're winning, let's force him the ball. Like the LA Rams game, remember, like they overthrew Quez Watkins on one pass. Remember, he was wide open on like the back of the end zone on the right side, and they forced it to Devontae Smith, like all the way to the right side of the pylon, like wide open. Like, and I'm just like, are they forcing the ball? I feel like he's not forced to check down. He's like, no, he's like, you're gonna throw this shit down to AJ Brown. You're gonna throw this big fucking dagger downfield. I don't care if the check down is open. Like, you're just throw it up to him. Like, I just feel like just shit like that just doesn't work at times, you know? It's insane. We got B Scar 24 with the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Says that ass whooping was beautiful. Here we go. It was really nice to watch. I didn't think that shit was gonna happen, but I didn't think an ass kicking. Especially Dallas was home, so I was like, Dallas is home. You know, they're great at home. But it shows you, man, the playoffs are different, and the Packers look poised. They just looked like Jordan Love, man. Good for him, man. It's not even just he beating the Cowboys. I'm not even just liking Jordan Love because of that. Like, Jordan Love, man, he has come a long way, man. Aaron Jones, like, to have a running back like that. I mean, 2 fucking plays, he's already on the Dallas fucking 30. I mean, it's nuts, dude. Yeah, Mayfield is, appreciate the super, by the way. Motivational zones in Mayfield. Yeah, so Mayfield's dealing. So Baker's dealing with a rib injury, which he is not good at all yet. A rib injury, and he's dealing with the fucking ankle. So both quarterbacks obviously hurt. Now Jalen Hurts, I don't know how good Jalen Hurts' knee is at this point. I'm not really sure. But he's probably his you dislocate a finger or anything and put it back in place. It's not gonna look good. You're gonna be in a lot of pain throughout the week. So Hurts is probably in a lot of pain. There's no doubt. We got Tavares Jones. Just going. Oh, this fucking picture, man. I don't know why people do that shit with that picture. We gave Dallas everything and they still choke. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We literally gave them the fucking second set. We gave them a home playoff game and they fucking choked. I mean, Des Bryant was quiet. DRVR says, since week 9, Jordan Love has been one of the top 2 quarterbacks in efficiency. Today, he had a perfect QB rate. It's crazy, man. He was not phased. He was, dude, like some of his throws were just, man, his eyes and his accuracy, even with that one where he had pressure and threw that ball deep, man, when he had pressure right in his face, I was like, holy shit, dude. I'll leave my pick alone. Who's that wide receiver that had 150 yards? He never had a 100-yard game in his career in the NFL. And he's a young guy. I mean, I forgot his fucking name, but he had 150 yards. He never hit 100 yards in a game at all this year. This was his first game at 150 yards. I mean, it's crazy. That's crazy. That's just nuts at this point. You're good. I just can't show it on, I don't know. I can't show it because YouTube is just what it is. Stop people. The Eagles are not playing possum. Leo says, our best run game was against the Bucs. Established a run and Swift needs 25 plus touches. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he can handle it. At this point, it's the playoffs. There's no holding Swift back. There's no holding him back. Rondo's Lovely Sparks says, I subscribed. Yes, we weren't at the game at all. Appreciate the subscription. What are you, a Cowboys fan? I think. What it sounds like. But we have 366 in the chat. We're hitting about the 2-hour mark, I think, or over it as of right now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the likes on this stream as much as possible. I do appreciate it from everybody. Let's try to get to 300 likes if we can. It'd be great. Get as many as possible. It does help out the channel a lot. We'll be doing a live play-by-play reaction of the Eagles-Bucs game tomorrow night. So I'll set up the stream for that. And then, depending on what happens Monday night, we'll have a post game, obviously, tomorrow night, and we'll have videos out, and hopefully I'm in a really good fucking mood. Yeah, Romeo Dubes, that guy, that Dobbs, that guy never had a 100-yard game. That was his first game over 100 yards, at 100 yards, 150 yards he had, or whatever it was, the whole game. It's crazy. You're welcome. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan. Hey, it was look. These things happen. You get that's what I'm saying. Like the playoffs, like doesn't matter who you're it doesn't matter what the regular season did. It doesn't matter. I guess. I mean, at this point, you can't. You're gonna run into the wrong. I mean, the Packers went there and just fucking owned it. I mean, it's crazy. Westby says we're always winning the rain. Yeah, I mean, the rain has been. We've played in so many rain games this year. It's absolutely insane. It's insane. Lois says Rhonda's a good Cowboys fan. I see her in Mark's stream. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he wasn't happy today. Yeah, he popped off, dude. He killed it tonight. Dude, it's like they didn't sign like a big free agent to that offense. Like all those players, like it's the youngest team in the NFL. Like it's crazy. Greg says must run the damn football. Dude, I think every Eagle fan knows we need to run the football badly. Cam Newton was right. That Dak is more of a game manager? Yeah, probably. Probably. Beast Guard 24, Super Chat. Thank you so much. He said, it breaks my heart that we can't keep our staff around. Why is that? Do we not want to pay them? Jim Schwartz had the number 1 D this year, and Reich was. Yeah, well, dude, look. Yeah, but look what Jim Schwartz did. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, look what Jim Schwartz did in the playoffs today. What was it, yesterday? Today? I forgot. Look what Jim Schwartz did. Did nothing against the Texans. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Shit changes so fast. Once you get to the playoffs, it's like the whole shit just changes. I don't know why. I don't. Like, it. I mean, I do know why, because I don't know. Because once this regular season's over with, those statistics they don't mean anything after that. Jim Schwartz did nothing in the playoffs. I mean, that defense looked horrific. But with us, he did the same shit. Sometimes our defense was horrific in the playoffs, too. I mean, our Super Bowl was like, what did our defense do the whole fucking game? I mean, it literally came down to one fucking play. That was it. It was over 1,000 yards of offense between both teams, between Tom Brady and Nick Foles. I mean, you know. Oh, it's 1:07 in the morning right now. I got stuff to do tomorrow. I gotta go. I just bought a brand new truck, by the way. I'll be doing a video on that. I just bought a brand new truck that I'm picking up either Monday, Tuesday. I think Tuesday. Which I'm pretty excited about. Something to look forward to. New vehicle. Oh, so they played the other day. Dude, I forgot. I'm all over the place. Energetic said playoffs are about matchups. Eagles fans said when Jalen Carter plays 6% of defensive snaps, the Eagles are undefeated. He's been in only 40. Yeah, he only had, I think the last game or the Cardinals game, he only had like 21 snaps. Like, why? You know what I mean? I don't know why. The rotation hasn't been moving along too well either, which I don't get that too. I don't get that. I'm not sure. He's still the top rated defensive lineman, I think, this year. He said the same thing about Tua. Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000. Wensby said he said the same thing about Purdy. Where does Tomlin go if he is let go or moves on? I would love Mike Tomlin. I would love Mike Tomlin here. Tay says Eagles defense needs to show up tomorrow. I'm confident in our offense. Defense just needs to play sound and communicate it. Yeah, and you know what, dude? Kevin Byard after the Giants game, he said, okay, he still says there's communication issues. Like, why in the fuck are there still this scheme is just bad, dude. There's way too much. Hybro says nice. Okay. So I bought a brand new. It literally almost has like 10 miles on it. It's a 2023 Jeep Gladiator Mojave pickup truck. Appreciate Savvy. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud. Yeah, I'm glad. You know, I'm happy for D'Amico. I'm happy that's working out. I'm happy that he's really doing a really good job. Wait, so congrats, Joey. Keep her on. I appreciate it, man. Rouse says having a new truck feels nice, like a new house. Exactly. Joey brought a new truck. Joey will be releasing a country songs. Yeah. I'm gonna do a video. I'll do a video on it. When I have time this week. Mike Tomlin is staying in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing official yet that he's leaving, but there's been some. There's been some rumors that he might be leaving. So I don't know. There's been some rumors, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna put too much into it. You know. Greg said Jalen Carter should have a monster game because he's going to be playing in front of family and friends in South Florida. Interesting. Oh, that'd be hopefully that'll be a good game for him. We need him. We need Jordan. All this rumors about Jordan Davis getting fined every week, that he's overweight. There's a lot of shit going on with this team. HP said it's time for defense to stop the run and get off on third down. Still felt bad for Sidney Brown. Yeah, I know that's a big loss, dude. Sidney Brown has got a fucking future, man. And you know what? I feel like he's so good. I feel like he's so much better at safety than corner. I like him at safety so much more. Like, no joke. I feel like he's really good. Like, even the Eagles practices, you see these players talking shit about. Javon Hargrave talked about how the Eagles practices were more relaxed and the non-demanding like they were when he went to the 49ers. Like Sidney Brown after the Giants game talked about, well, this is what, I don't know what the quote was, but he talked about how, well, the Eagles practices kind of intervene with what they do on game day. Like, there's issues with the fucking practices. Hence why our defense, like the tackling, is god awful. And hearing Darius Slay even this week, I'm glad we're not playing at home because I don't want to get booed. Like, the fuck is with this soft talk? Like, I don't get these fucking players. I really don't. Gold, it's gonna be awesome to play Chauncey Gardner in Detroit, and if we beat them, oh so sweet. Oh yeah. Rich says Eagles can still have a home game, beat Bucs, Lions, and have the Packers beat the Niners. Eagles, Packers, home game, FC champ. Yeah, that's the only way. So if the Packers beat the 49ers, that's the only way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It might be a good matchup. I don't know. It just depends. It just depends. We'll see though. We'll see. Make money, not friends, says we need to hit in the draft and free agency. Yeah, I get it, but we need to. The free agency and the draft don't mean a damn thing if this philosophy from the coaching, from the, Jeffrey Lurie getting his hands on this team and giving Howie Roseman an ultimatum that we need to hire, depending on what happens to Nick, depending if we lose money, depending on a lot of things, to really change what we do here, because Nick cannot run an offense. And we need some pushback, egotistical coordinators that run their own playbooks, that run their own style of offense and defense. Because if Jeffrey Lurie and Howie don't allow that, if Howie doesn't allow that, and he's going to let Nick do the same shit every year, the draft is what's the sense of drafting a trench guy if you're playing your corners 8 yards back and your linebackers don't play downhill? What's the sense of drafting a fucking linebacker if you're not playing downhill and you're not going to be, you know what I mean? What's the sense of drafting a corner if you're going to play zone the whole fucking game? You know what I mean? Like every position on the defense is flawed because of the scheme. The scheme has more value over the players, and the players are set up for failure. That's how I think of it every week. Every week it looks almost like that all the time. It just gets like that, and I really can't fucking stand it. Hybro says crazy former players talk shit to the team and players. Maybe it's an internal issue. Felix goes on Twitch, says, I hope the Niners get their shit rocked. All that team does is talk. Yeah, somebody else talked shit from that team. I don't know who it was, but somebody from that team talk shit about the Eagles this week or something, saying that, the Eagles are going to lose Monday or some shit like that. I don't know who said it, but somebody did. Rogue says the softness is from Nick Sirianni since we don't practice hard or play. Yeah, did you see even the past week or two, Nick would cancel? Nick canceled a walkthrough. Eagles are in full practice. Oh my God, they're they're not doing a walkthrough. They're practicing in full pads today. It's crazy. Lit G says NFL goes like the first. It's not rigged, then got good moments, and that's when the money hits and it gets rigged. Crazy Super Bowl last year. 1HP says Puka Nacua, nice him or Stroud going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That'd be kind of nuts, right? Jennings. Once we said Jalen Hurts, Juan said Hurts have no weapons. He said, is Smith playing? Guy's a fucking douchebag. Oh, it was Jennings that said that. I forgot who said that. I just read that a 49ers player said that shit. Sheen Brady says, seen Derek Barnett get a couple QB pressures against the Browns. Yeah, it's just what happens, I guess, that everybody leaves this team and they just play better somewhere else. You know, it's just insane, dude. Rogue said, Nick also does not conditioning, right? Either he is the reason Jordan Davis got fat. Says, nobody wishes Jennings was on their team. I'm taking Quez over that bot. KGBB says, not even a fourth best receiver on this team. No, he definitely is not. Definitely not. Team says Jennings bummed 6th string on his team. Cole said, I think the Eagles are going to come in with a whole new game plan, shock everyone like the Packers did, and have everyone shake their boots. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope they do, and I'll be supportive of it, but I don't know what's going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for the night. It's already a 2.5-hour stream. I got to get some sleep for tomorrow. We'll have the stream tomorrow night. We'll have post-game tomorrow night. We'll have videos. We'll be streaming like crazy tomorrow night. So definitely, come join up. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Cover the Eagles every single day. Definitely like up the stream like crazy. If you guys can hit the like button, it definitely helps out like crazy and appreciate it so much. If that is it, that is it. And we're gonna keep this thing rolling a little bit. We got a super chat for Beast Guard 24. So I'm convinced the NFL gods don't like the Cowboys. I think they're fucking cursed, dude. I think they're just really fucking cursed at this point. Reverend says, yo, Joey, what's up, Joey? After the Cowboys fail, we need to win tomorrow. I know. Got to take advantage of the situation. So, I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. So, and other than that, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow night with some streams. We'll be doing some streams tomorrow. Check out the live play-by-play reaction. We'll be streaming the whole game tomorrow and doing our thing. So, you enjoy the rest of your night. Hold on. Super here. Morgan Holmes of Super Chat said, believe in the Eagles multiverse, Joey. Trust me. All right. I'll take your word for it. But I appreciate the super, by the way. I'll look, if I'm shocked, I might be pissed because I'm shocked. Like, seriously, like, why am I shocked? But we'll see. Both quarterbacks are going to this game hurt, and I'm looking at a team that really needs to run the fucking ball tomorrow. So, looking at a team that needs to do that. Man, all Eagles fans. Oh, I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't care about these people that sit on their computers at who the fuck is up at 1 a.m. on streams right now? Some fucking fat loser. So, yep. That's how that goes. But all right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night, most likely. I put out a video on the Cowboys loss. If you want to check that out, definitely check it out. Like the stream, subscribe, all that great stuff. And I will see you guys on the next one. Guys, enjoy it. Shakes what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace out.